MG made its name building sports cars like the MGB and the MG Midget in the 60s and 70s. And I remember the MGF from the 1990s. But in the last few years, under new Chinese ownership, MG has become more about affordable electric cars and SUVs. Until now, because this is MG's brand new electric roadster. It's the MG Cyberster. I'm Caroline and this is the Carzone YouTube channel. You love cars, and at Carzone we love cars too, especially eye-catching roadsters like this one. If you're looking for a new or used car, maybe your own sports car, head over to carzone.ie and you'll find lots of great cars for sale there from trusted sellers. Please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. This goes on sale from €70,000. That's for one with a motor on the rear axle, and that's got a modest 340 horsepower. But you can also have this one. It's the GT, dual motor, all-wheel drive. It's got 503 horsepower. 0 to 100 is 3.2 seconds, so it's really very fast. And this one is available from €75,500. 77 kilowatt hour battery, and MG says the range is up to about 440 kilometers. But that's enough numbers. You really just have to look at this car to appreciate it. It's absolutely stunning. Classic sports car proportions. You've got the long hood, the low nose, and it looks brilliant in this dynamic red. This sits really nice and low to the ground and has some gorgeous wheels, 20-inch on the GT, and those are wrapped in Pirelli P0 tyres. You've got red brake calipers, and those are Brembo brakes at the front. Now this was built to celebrate 100 years of MG, so you've got this special anniversary sill. But the real showstopper is the doors, proper scissor doors, just like a Lamborghini. That's very impressive. And they do have sensors on them as well to make them more practical for car parks. So what do you think of that? It's got a great sports car stance here at the back, muscular rear haunches, and a ducktail design. So this is slightly curved, and that's to help how the air moves over the back of the car to make it more efficient. Very distinctive rear lighting, a big light bar, and then those rear lights are like arrows pointing in both directions. But what about boot space? Because sports cars aren't really known for that, but this one's not too bad at all. It's 249 litres. So you'll fit 2 cabin bags in there, bit of shopping. It's not too bad at all. It's actually bigger than an Alpine A110 and also a Mazda MX-5. This car might look very cool and high tech, but it's a bit more average when it comes to the charging. Now this is where you charge it. It's up to 7 kilowatt AC, so that's fine if you're charging at home. But let's say you stop at one of those 22 kilowatt chargers in an Irish town or city, it's going to be really very slow. So it doesn't even get the 11 kilowatt AC that we're starting to see in more cars and SUVs. DC fast charging is up to 144 kilowatt. Again, it's okay. It's a 10 to 80% charge in 38 minutes. But something like a Porsche Taycan or a Hyundai Ioniq 5N can do that in about 18 minutes. Now this does have vehicle to load charging, so you can get a special adapter and you can power other appliances here from the charge socket. Inside it feels really special and sporty. The fit and finish is also really good, so everything feels good to the touch. You get these gorgeous leather style sports seats, and you can go for the red and black interior or white and grey. It also feels quite high tech in here with this wraparound screen. You've got the sports steering wheel. The paddle on the right adjusts the drive mode, and the one on the left is to adjust the regenerative braking. It also has a big red button like every good sports car should have. That's the Super Sport button. More on that later. Here on the left you have this little screen for your ventilation settings and a few other bits, also your gear selection. These buttons are to open and close the doors, and then the one in the middle is to let down the powered fabric roof. A few things I'm not so keen on in the cabin. Well, first of all, while this wraparound screen looks very high tech, the steering wheel does obstruct the view of the one on the left and the right. There is quite a lot going on with these screens as well. Now that is something you do get used to. So for example, the one on the left is for things like your maps, media, your phone contacts, and the one on the right is things like the charging, energy consumption, and a few other menus as well. The other thing I'm not so keen on is the driving position. So you do sit higher in this than what you usually would in a sports car. I'd like to be sitting lower in this, and I have this seat at its lowest position. So if you were tall, I'm not sure how comfortable this car would be for you. It does come really well equipped. You've got heated front seats with power adjustment, a heated steering wheel, and also a Bose sound system. Altogether, I really like the cabin of the MG Cyberster, despite a few small frustrations. I love the fit and finish, and it's miles ahead of anything we've seen from previous MGs, and that's really good to see. So what's it like to drive? Short answer is punchy. 503 horsepower, 725 newton meters of torque. That's a lot of torque. And 0 to 100 is just 3.2 seconds, which is really incredible stuff. You have a few different driving modes, and that's what you can use to dial up the leeriness of the car. So in the comfort setting, it's actually quite sedate. So that's a great one if you're just driving around town, or if you want to settle it down to a cruise on the motorway. It's comfortable for a sports car as well. You're not being tossed around too much here in the cabin. And refinement levels are good too, though you do hear a bit more because of the fabric roof from what's going on outside the car. Then you can pop it into sport mode, and it certainly feels more like a sports car in that mode. So the accelerator response is much more lively, and the steering is also that little bit heavier as well. Though I don't think it's the most communicative unit that I've ever experienced in a sports car. I'd like a greater sensation of grip coming from the front tires and coming here through the rim. But it's good all the same for what it is. But I'd say there's a limit to its dynamic ability just because of the weight involved. It weighs just under 2 tons, quite a lot for a small 2-seat roadster like this. But it's still nice to drive, as I said, good comfort and refinement levels. It's also easy to drive as well, and it does feel safe and secure. Then the Super Sport mode, if you really want to have fun, so that's all the power, all the torque, and you can also activate launch control in that mode. This uses a 77 kilowatt hour battery, range up to 443 kilometers. And the official consumption is 19.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Now I've been testing this in a real cold snap here in Ireland, really cold weather and sub-zero temperatures. And I've been seeing in the 20s. So I suppose take those range estimates with a pinch of salt, particularly in cold weather like this. There's no engine noise. There's a little bit of augmented tune coming through the speakers, but it's not really the best I've ever heard, I have to say. So I think the car is lacking a little bit of emotion. It's not like driving a fuel-powered sports car. It's something different, I would say. But there's still lots to like about this in terms of the comfort it offers, the refinement, and it's just such a really cool car to look at and be seen in as well, and that's always important for a sports car. The Cyberster is one of the most surprising and interesting cars that I've driven in quite a while. Hats off to MG for getting this to market, an electric sports car, before all those other famous sports car manufacturers like BMW, Mazda, Toyota, Porsche. It's not the perfect sports car, but it's still really likeable, and it's got the pace, and it definitely has the good looks. If you'd like to find your own sports car, whether that's the Cyberster or something else, head over to carzone.ie and you'll find lots of great cars for sale there from trusted sellers. Please give this video a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.